watch episode 1 of Call to Close, Initial Contact. And I think that, I don't know that I can say this is more important than that. I just know without appropriate initial contact, there is no appointment. Without appropriate initial contact, there is no sale. Without appropriate initial contact, there is no education. And I want you to, as you go through each and we dissect each agent that does this, you need to really take a step back and think about the things they're doing. And then you want to start analyzing what you're doing. So the following video, when you watch Bryan Mendenhall and his initial contact, how many different stages are there to initial contact? Well, number one, you need to go ahead and let people know who you are, know why you're doing what you do, who in your family is important to you in your life, what life experiences do you have as it pertains to life insurance, good, bad, or indifferent, why it's so important to you. And in that initial contact allows you to set that structure. See, we used to talk about having an imaginary bank, if you will, on the dining room table. And every time I wanted to know something about you, I had to make a deposit in the bank. So if I was going to ask you a difficult question about your family or who's going to provide for the financial security of your family if you die or anything, I need to make sure I explain to you what happened. When you listen to Bryan talk about being raised by a single mother, when you talk about the respect he had for you, when you're talking about you hear him talk about his professional experience, the things he's done, what he liked about his previous jobs, why that's allowed him to be very good here, why he's so competitive to be the best he can be for you. And when you hear him talk about things, when you hear the clients in here, you know who's in control. And it's not see, one of the things you learn about in life, I believe, is people respond when you have structure and short-term goals. That gives a sense of urgency. A lot of people say, there's no sense of urgency in the house. Yeah, because you didn't provide structure, you didn't provide any short-term goals. Bryan's initial contact is all structure. Here's who I am, here's who you are, here's what I do, here's why I do it, and here's why you need it. That's it. Short-term goal, here's how it's going to work today. We're going to do this, that's going to equal you having this, and here's the protection you're going to have in place for this period of time so you don't have to worry about it. Listen to his words. Watch his body language. It's simple when he reached out to Bill and laughs with him about, how tough Bill is and as a man and what he does and the husband in this role play. And it's simple stuff like that escapes us. This business is so simple. And this portion of the Call to Close shows you how important the initial contact is.
All right, guys. So first things first, I know you don't want just a random person in your house. Yes. So I want to show you, this is my license. I'm licensed through the state, through the banking and insurance department. All that means is I'm authorized to help you guys today protect your mortgage, okay?
Okay.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Who was the smart one that filled this out? Normally it's the wife, but...
That would have to be her.
That would be me.
That was you. She's the smart one, Bill.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, Jasmine, when you filled this out, what were you thinking about?
Just trying to make sure that we get the coverage and we get the best price. So a couple came in the mail and I just sent them all back.
So Jasmine, when you saw this, you were more, it wasn't about the price, I'm sure. It says, in the event of a death, you want to make sure that your mortgage is protected, basically paying off your house. Mm-hmm. So when you saw this, what were you concerned about? It wasn't the price. It was about what?
In case anything were to happen to my husband.
Anything were to happen to you, that you would be in a situation where you wouldn't lose the house.
Right.
Correct. Okay. So I'm going to go over some stuff and explain that to you today, what we can actually do to help you guys. Okay. But I want to ask you, so there's going to be 3 things that we're actually going to do. I'm going to make sure that we find a program that fits in your budget. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to make sure you understand how it protects you, which was your number one concern. You want it to be protected, correct? Mm-hmm. And the most important is I'm going to make sure we can get you to qualify. Because if you don't qualify, the price doesn't matter. Would you agree?
Right.
All right. So there's 2 things that I need to talk to you guys about that everybody feels is almost taboo, but we need to talk about it, okay? The first one is death. No one wants to talk about death, do they?
Right.
We need to talk about it. How old are you guys?
27. Yeah.
So I remember when I was 27, 10 years ago. I'm 37 now. I felt like I was Superman, okay? But we're all going to die. We're all going to die. The last thing we need to talk about also is finances. No one wants to talk about finances. No one wants to talk about what they're bringing in. But we need to talk about what's coming in after tax dollars, because that's what pays the bills. Would you agree?
Sure.
So if something were to happen to you, Bill, mm-hmm. we need to know what's going to not be coming in here tomorrow, vice versa. Right. You guys are both working?
Yes.
All right, so I need to get some information from you, okay?
Sure.
All right, so first things first. So you're 27 years old.
Yep.
27. Both 27.
Yes.
All right. You know what? Before I go too far into this, I want to tell you a little bit about myself as well, because I need to ask some personal questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So first things first, I'm not here just for the mortgage protection. I'm here for that today. Okay. But in the future, these are some of the other things that I specialize in, and I'm going to be your agent from here on out. So if you guys need anything, you're able to reach out to me. Okay.
Awesome.
So mortgage protection is one thing that I specialize in. Final expenses. Now, this is important. A lot of people have jobs, they have work insurance, and they're covered for the whole time they're working. But when they lose their jobs or they're not working anymore, they lose their coverage. And this is when they're looking for this type of coverage between the ages of 45 and 50. That's going to take care of your burial. Okay. Life insurance. Now, this is more meant for income protection. Do you guys know the difference between mortgage protection and life insurance?
No.
I'm going to explain it to you in a little bit. There's a huge difference that you guys need to know about, okay?
Sure.
Well, one thing you need to know, normally with life insurance, they're going to come out with a needle, stick you, make you pee in a cup. They're going to watch you pee. It's really weird. It's awkward. And I don't like needles. Do you?
No.
All right. So they do all that. And it normally takes 2 months to find out if you're approved or not. 50% of the time it comes back, and it comes back rated. So it's higher than what they originally told you the price would be.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's one thing with life insurance. The other thing about life insurance, let me ask you a question. If you came down with a stroke, a heart attack, cancer, anything like that, and you called your life insurance company and told them you had that happen, what would they tell you?
You mean through the work insurance?
Any type of insurance. If you had if any type of life insurance, let's say you have a stroke or a heart attack, you call them up and you say, hey, I had a heart attack. What are they going to tell you?
I'm guessing the rate would go up.
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
You will be calling because you want help, correct?
Oh,
you want
absolutely.
money. They're going to tell you, why are you calling me? Because you're not dead yet.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
It only covers you in the event of a death.
Okay.
You want coverage if something happens to you while you're living as well, correct?
Yes.
That's what mortgage protection is going to help you with. And I'll break that down for you. You guys don't have any kids yet?
No.
So when you guys go to have kids, I do the college savings plans, which I can teach you how to do that. Asset protection, you guys are still 27, so you don't have a bunch of money, but you guys are putting money into a 401k, I'm assuming?
Yes.
And your company's matching?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. What percent do they match up until?
They match 4%.
4%? And how much are you putting in?
I do the 4.
You do the 4, just the 4? Okay. We can talk further in the future about setting up something like this as far as tax-free retirement, what makes sense for you. Okay?
Yeah.
But a little bit about me. I'm from Bensalem. I lived there with me, my wife, and my 2 kids, BJ and Brandon. So I grew up, I was raised by a single mom. All right. My mom was a prison guard, and she was tough as nails. Kind of one of the reasons why I took my shoes off at the front. She didn't play no games. But I put this in here also that I was a general manager at LA Fitness Sports Club. I did that for 10 years, and helping people has always kind of been one of my things. In the gym, we always had, whatever club I went to, I always had the #1 club because I serviced the heck out of people. I just kept serving and serving. Let me break it down. I would literally bill. You came in today for a membership.
Yep.
I'd sign you up.
Yep.
And then I'd tell you, come back and work out with me, right?
Yeah.
But I would tell you to bring a friend, and I'd work you and your friend out for free.
Right.
And now when I'm doing that, what are you going to do? Keep bringing people in, right?
Yep.
I ended up having the #1 club in the nation. And I would go to every struggling club and get them booming.
Hi.
Here's the deal. I'm still helping people here. What I do is a little different now. I've had 14 clients pass away on me in the last 7 years. Now, each time I've been able to be there for that family and help them out. One thing I want to ask you, Bill, and this goes both ways, but how long have you guys been together?
We've been together for 7 years.
7 years. So I want to flip it around. I know you're tough. You're a tough guy, right?
Sure.
If you lost your wife,
Yep.
you've been together for 7 years,
Yeah.
you wake up tomorrow like nothing happened.
Absolutely not.
You go right back to work. You're strong, right?
No.
It's probably not going to happen, right?
Right.
You probably won't have your legs under you and vice versa. I'd be the person to step up and help you guys out. Make sure that the insurance company is going to pay that money right away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I got to show my family also. This is my wife, Emily. She's better looking than me. We all got the same problem. That's Brandon. That's my 11-year-old. And that's my 5-year-old, BJ.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Now, I'm a little backwards. I named BJ after me. Most people name their first son after him. I was a little backwards. So.
At least you got one of them.
Yeah. So I want to tell you guys this story, and it's actually kind of emotional for me every time I tell it, but I tell it for a reason, okay? I'm assuming you guys have work insurance. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Bill, how much coverage do you have through your job?
It's 2 times my salary.
2 times your salary? And how much are you making a year?
$50,000.
Okay, so you got $100,000 worth of coverage.
Yep.
And Jasmine, how about you?
The same program, it's double my salary.
And how much are you making a year?
I make about $25,000.
20. So you got about 50K. All right. So this is my Aunt Tina and my Uncle Rick. Okay. Now, when I first got my insurance license back in 2011, I literally went to everybody in my entire family. I'm like, you're getting covered. You're getting covered. You're getting covered. Everyone got covered, right?
Right.
Now, my Aunt Tina is the only one that actually did not take coverage with me. And the reason she didn't take coverage, Bill, is because she had 3 times her salary through work. She was making $100,000 worth of life. She was making $100,000 a year. And in the event of her death, she got $300,000. Well, I was brand new in this business, so I didn't know any better to tell her that coverage wasn't actually hers. See, most people don't die while they're working. She came down with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Now, her job said, hey, go ahead and get better and come on back to work. Guys, unfortunately, no one gets better from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. You die. But she was a fighter. And she actually fought long enough to where her sick time was all done. All the time ran out. And they said, you need to come back to work or we got to do what?
Fire you?
Not fire you, but they put it nicely. They said, we got to let you go.
Yeah.
They let her go.
Wow.
What do you think happened 3 weeks later?
That's when she passed.
Yeah. Wow. The messed up part is she had no life insurance because the coverage wasn't there anymore. She wasn't actively working. I literally felt like I let the family down. On the flip side, it's my Uncle Rick. He also passed from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. But the crazy story is I actually wrote him a policy with one of our companies 8 months before he died.
Wow.
Check this out. He didn't know he had cancer. What we do is non-medical. There's no blood, no urine, no physical exam. I wrote the application. He answered the questions to the best of his ability, telling the truth, right?
Right.
A couple months later, his back's killing him. He goes to the hospital, finds out he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Then he's gone.
Wow.
The insurance company, they did freak out a little bit. They're like, oh my gosh, this $250,000 policy. Now this guy's dead. Well, they wanted to check the doctor records, which that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
When they looked at it, what did they see? Nothing. He didn't know, did he? So what did they have to do?
Do their investigation.
They had to pay.
Oh, wow.
So here I felt like a hero where the family was protected. They got a house paid off and there was a couple extra dollars left over. And here I felt like I let the family down. So when you guys say that you have this work insurance, by all means, guys, with no disrespect, I'm going to have to cross that off. You don't have anything. It's kind of like a company car where if you leave that job, they're not going to let you keep the keys, will they? You got to give that car back, right?
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Well, that's how you need to think of it now because that's how it is.
Wow.
Okay?
All
All right. So, guys, a couple other things. So, I work with a ton of different companies. So, I work with, you've heard of Mutual of Omaha, right?
Sure.
You've heard of Transamerica?
Yeah.
How about Gerber? They used to probably feed you when you were a baby, right?
Gerber, yep.
All right, so, what I will tell you, this company, America, I know you've never heard of them, but hands down, right now, if you guys are healthy, which I'll get into your health a little bit, they have the best product on the market, hands down. Okay, they've been around since 1906, and they're only worth about $6 billion. That just means if something happens to you, I think they can pay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Looks like it.
So, guys, let's go into this a little bit, all right?
Sure.
So I'd ask yourself to do as you move through and process what you just watched with Bryan Mendenhall and think about, the way he set up that initial contact. Is that how you're doing it? Do they know as much about you as his clients know about him? Are you sharing those life experiences? That experience he shared about his family and the life insurance is able to put in place for somebody that was sick shortly thereafter. But at the time they filled the application out, they did their deal, they weren't informed, didn't know, and how the policy paid out and how some other people wasn't able to help. Did your clients know that? If you're a closed book, you ain't got to worry. You close book, they're going to close their checkbook. You don't have to worry about them opening it up. It's a matter of are you going to share. So we're going to now segue to Marc's initial content. What I love about this is these are all great producers and they do it different. Well, first of all, you got to be you. Well, they're be you. By the way, what's great about I think the human race is we're all different. Go be you. It's awesome. Nobody wants the same thing from every person they interact with anyway. Marc's focuses a lot. I was in the role play with Marc, obviously. And I as I was talking, I really subconsciously felt myself feeling better about when Marc asked a lot of questions about who was going to be in control. And in this role play, I was playing a guy's older with some medical issues and, worried about my kids who in this role play would be older and making sure they're taken care of. And at the end of the day, Marc started really getting me to, first of all, saying your kids' names is important. I mean, it just is. I mean, it just makes it a lot more personal. Oh, you got 2 kids. What are their names? How old are they? Where did they, just asking questions about it. But when he ever said, hey, what's your advice on this? Like, started asking me parenting advice, asked me advice. He got my background as a social worker, and here I was, still working there, and really made me feel good about me, because here he was asking my opinion. He did not ask my opinion on life insurance. He was the professional. He asked my opinion on where I was allegedly the professional, raising kids, because his kids aren't at my kids' ages yet. He's not, he's never been a social worker. So it allowed him subconsciously, for all of us, as he moves through his appointments, if I've given you recognition and credibility for you being the professional in your field, well, I ask the same. And I'd venture to guess if I had pushed a lot harder or been an abnormal client, Marc may have said that. But at the end of the day, he didn't need to. And I bet he doesn't need to 60, 70, 80% of the time, because he sets the stage so well. Marc got me talking so much about what I did or didn't need, who I was, what my background was. And the minute he started asking my opinion, I was like, man, I kind of forgot I'm in this role play, and I'm like, I'm answering, like I'm smiling, and I'm just like, and I'm who I was. I mean, by the way, it's weird too, because I'm a guy that would never fill out a form, so I really can't, So for me, I'm like, wow, I would definitely buy life insurance if it came to my house. So I really hope as you watch what Marc's doing, and you pick up on these nuances, and you get to see where he's at, how he's making the initial contact, and the subtle things he does. Think about that. Do you ever do that? Do you ever ask your clients' opinion on something, please, outside of life insurance? Their opinion on what they do for a living, so you can get the same respect in return.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
My name is Marc Meade.
Shawn, nice to
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for having me here today. So I'm assuming your main concern, Shawn, when you filled this out, was God forbid you pass away. You just want to make sure everything's taken care of.
Yeah, it said death would pay off my $100,000 I have left in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't so worried about the disability, to be honest with you, other stuff. I mean, not that but I was really worried about, I've had this house now for, 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And I was renting always before this, so I just want to make sure. I don't know a lot about this, but I have a couple kids, and I don't want them to. I like them to keep the house. I think the house is worth probably closer to
Who's the number one
$150,000.
person who'll be picking up the pieces when you die?
My daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said a couple. Who's the other kid?
I have a son.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And are they both local?
Yeah, they're within a half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your daughter's the most responsible?
By far.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that she's going to take care of this house if God forbid something happens to you.
Yeah, I just want to get it paid off.
Okay. How much did you put down on the house?
Oh man, they maybe put 20% down.
Okay.
Because I had to for my loan program.
Okay, got it.
So right at that was $20-something thousand, a little more than that. Closing costs ended up all being like $30,000.
Got it. Do you have any type of life insurance at all outside of anything from work?
No,
Nothing?
no, I've never got anything myself. No.
Okay, got it.
I didn't think I needed it before I got the house.
Got it. Okay. And do you have any conditions at all?
I'm healthy.
Okay.
I mean, I take a blood pressure medication, lisinopril. I take that. I've taken it for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
And I had a minor. They said it was a heart attack. I didn't really feel like I had a heart attack, but I mean, I'm in good health. I work out a lot. I try to eat good, and they went in and they put a little stent in. And I was in and out after a couple of days, and back to work after a month or so.
Okay.
But that did happen.
Okay.
I don't know, 5 years ago.
Feel good though?
I feel great.
That's good.
I feel really good.
That's good. Strong. Okay. So heart attack about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And right now you're 52?
Yep.
Okay. Smoke?
No.
Okay, got it.
No smoke.
All right. Are you familiar with mortgage protection at all? How it works?
I mean, I'm guessing that's what that is,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know any more than that.
Okay, got it. So basically the way this works is Your mortgage protection program, basically, my job's simple. I'm not here to bedazzle you. I'm here to cover anywhere between 10 to 110% of mortgage. Okay? Put on what you're eligible for. Everybody's eligible for something different. We got to see exactly how you fit in. And then I'm going to try to find something that works for you financially, okay?
All right.
So I basically have 2 jobs. Number 1, I got to see what you're eligible for. Number 2, I got to see what works for you financially. Okay?
Because that was my concern.
Yeah.
Am I not going to be eligible because
Okay.
they're going to tell me I can't get it because I had this heart thing?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's definitely going to be something we look at.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing is I work with about 15 different A-rated insurance carriers. So I'm going to try to, poke and prod and see who's got an appetite for what. Okay. And then we'll kind of go from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do me a favor if you could. Just grab me your any prescription drugs you're taking and just a valid ID. We'll get rolling.
Okay.
How long you lived here?
I've lived here a couple months.
So 4 months?
Yeah.
Are you
And
from
all I have is a lisinopril. I can tell you, I know how many. I know what I take, but I don't have the prescription on me. But I take lisinopril.
Okay. Were you take like after the heart attack?
I took no other medications.
Okay.
Nothing.
It must have been really mild, though.
I don't think it was that big a deal. I didn't feel that good, and I was getting lightheaded, and I went to my regular doctor, and they did some tests, and they brought me over to the hospital here in Norwich, and they sent me to Hartford.
Okay,
And
got it.
they did a surgery, and I was in and out.
You said you missed work for a little bit?
Yeah, probably 6 weeks. I probably could have gone back sooner.
What's your height and weight, Sean?
6 foot, probably 210.
You're a smoker now. You said
No smoke.
And you kind of, you've been with the same job through all that? What's the name of the company?
Over the state of Connecticut.
Okay. So that's who pays you? State of Connecticut?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do there?
I work with abused, neglected kids.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been doing that?
Long time.
Yeah?
Long time. 30 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you've probably seen a lot.
Seen way too much. Yeah.
How old are the kids that you generally work with?
From newborns to, 20.
Newborns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do with the kids?
We do investigations, see if they've been abused and neglected. People call in and make reports, and go out there and check and make sure they're okay. And sometimes they're born addicted to drugs, or they've been abused, neglected, that kind of stuff. And we go out and make an assessment, see if they're safe to remain with whoever is raising them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best part about that job?
Best part about the job will be when I retire. To be honest with you, I mean it's a rewarding job. I do love the kids. It's a tough job though.
Got it. So what's the worst part of the job?
Dealing with people that don't care about their children.
Wow.
It's hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And they probably want to. They just have their own stuff they're dealing with. So, but it still makes it hard nonetheless.
Has that had any effect on the way you've raised your kids?
I think the way I was raised had a lot of effect on how to raise my kids. I just always wanted to have better for them.
Got it.
I always wanted to do better for them. I wanted them to have a better opportunity than I did.
How old
And
are
that's
they?
kind of the program, right?
Yeah.
My daughter's 23 and my son's 21.
Got it. Both in college or out of college?
I'm both out of college.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, man. Did your job.
They did their job. They're good kids. I just didn't screw it up too bad.
Sweet. So what would that title be?
Social worker.
Social worker?
Yeah.
30 years?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And on average a year, what do you make with them?
Probably 75 grand,
Okay.
give or take,
Got it.
before overtime.
All right, we got a mortgage here. What's the balance currently?
I think about 100, right at 100. That's what when I got this form, I don't know where you guys got that information, but it sounds about right.
Got it.
I mean, I've made a couple payments, but they showed me that none of that really comes off the principal for a while, so probably right around 100.
Okay. Let me ask you a question based on your background. I mean, I grew up probably more than a troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was probably in the dean's or principal's office quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They probably labeled me. I don't know, because you've been doing this 30 years, so I'm asking. Does that, because I have a son and daughter now, 5 and 3, I always think will that come back to haunt me? Like the way I was.
Well, in a karma kind of way?
Yeah, just kind of.
I think that, here's what I think. I think there are no bad kids.
Okay.
I think they're bad parents.
Okay.
I think once kids get to be a certain age, their behavior is on them. But when you're a young child, you tend to, not that you're not accountable, you are, but you don't find too many kids that, in my opinion, and the stuff you did was probably, relatively speaking to what other people are doing, it was troublesome, but you're doing it for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Raised by, if you weren't raised, if you didn't have mom and dad both there, had some things that
single
structure
mom
weren't
situation.
there, and doesn't mean you got to be the mom and dad, and just have an unhealthy dynamic at home, substance abuse, whatever it happens to be. But no, I'm a big believer in God. I'm afraid of God. I don't know if I call God's work karma.
Amen.
But, I don't know. I think that you do the best you can. You do everything you can for your kids. You give it everything you got. And at the end of the day, you just kind of, what is that? Let go, let God. And that's my opinion.
What do you think some good, you got a 23-year-old, 21-year-old, you raised them. What do you think would be good advice? I got 5 and 3. What do you think would be good advice for me? Just overall, just something you could.
I'll be honest with you. I think that it's you almost look at it in phases. I think you need to be when they're young, from newborn to the age of 4 or 5 or 6. You got to be crazy vigilant, but you also have to be increasing. You have to be encouraging their independence real early. One of the things I learned about teenagers once they got there was I had 2 choices. I could either intervene and try to fix everything for them, which I thought would debilitate them. When my daughter got a boyfriend, I wanted to kill him. And it's a hard deal. It's a hard deal.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just sit back and it's hard to let your kids get the heart broken. And sometimes you got to let them get their hearts broken. How do you teach them to ride a bike? Let them fall. So that's kind of probably the best advice I got. You just kind of, you can't be all things to all people. You have to let them make mistakes. You have to let them we got free will. You have to let them make choices. You just have to, I guess if it's not imminent, you kind of got to just watch and read and let them gain some independent skills.
Wow.
That's probably the best advice I can give you.
You a sports?
If it helps.
You a sports guy at all?
Yeah, I like sports. I follow sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play any at all?
I used to.
Yeah.
No, I'm old now. No, I mean, slow pitch softball's not a sport, but I mess around with that every once in a
I
while.
played flag for probably too long. Hurt both my knees.
Really?
I think it's coming back to haunt me now.
Yeah, that might be.
Hip contusion, chest contusion. I'm thinking, dude, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Get old.
Fast.
Wait to get my age.
Oh God! All right. So, how much is this mortgage now?
How much do I owe?
Yeah, how much do you owe? I'm sorry.
$100,000.
100,000.
$100,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then, what's the payment currently?
Oh man, with everything included, I'm probably $700, $760 something. I think that's all that what they call it, escrows in there, the taxes, insurance.
Taxes. Okay, what are your taxes annually? Would you say?
Oh man, I don't think I'm at like $1,800 a year.
Okay.
Something like that. They just take it all out, though. I don't have to pay it.
Sure. So it's all in there. Okay. And then what's the market value?
I mean, the appraisal said it was about what I bought it for, which is like give or take 132, 33. I think it's worth more than that, but I mean, everybody probably says that. But there's houses in this neighborhood about the same size, sold for 150, 155.
What do you think yours was about?
150.
Okay.
I think it's 150,000. If that's how I was selling it tomorrow, I'd put it on the market for that.
Good deal.
Yeah, I had to do some work to it. It wasn't that bad, but
I mean, you got $50,000 in equity just in the first 4 months. That's pretty strong. Most people I see don't have that.
well,
So you're doing well.
yeah, took a while to buy one, I guess.
Just you on the loan here, Shawn?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And any extra payments you're making towards the mortgage right now?
No, I pay right now. It's only been a short period of time, but I've been paying exactly what I required to pay every month.
Okay. You looking to make any extra payments at all down the road? Is that something
Yeah, probably. I just haven't gone there yet. I mean, I have stuff I paid off. I paid off there. I took some loans out to send the kids to college.
Sure.
And I still have a few more years now. I'm trying to pay those off. Earlier. I got a really good interest rate, I thought.
What was the interest rate?
So I was like right at 4%.
Okay.
So I felt pretty good
Very
about that.
good, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I felt
Rates are
pretty good
going
about that. I have good credit, put a bunch of money down.
Okay.
So.
All right, that's strong. So it kind of reserved right now on the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me give this back to you.
Thanks.
You got it. And you said no other life insurance at all, correct?
No.
Okay.
No. State gives me a year of my salary, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how that works. What year?
Yeah.
I guess your best year. You're probably not including overtime. So it's probably whatever my base pay is.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, it's there. It's kind of like, I tell a lot of people, it's kind of like an icing on the top of the cake.
Yeah.
You do want a cake, though.
Yeah, I don't pay anything for it, so I just have it.
Okay, got it. Any type of retirement at all?
No,
401k
no, I
IRA,
did it.
the
I did a
annuities?
deferred comp for a while,
Okay.
and then I needed the money.
You used it.
Took it. It penalized me so much.
Okay.
I wasn't, I guess, old enough to take it out.
Okay.
So I've never done it again.
Okay.
Put the money. Well, I didn't know it was going to be that. I didn't know I couldn't get it out. They're in charge of that much money to take it out.
Sure.
And I don't think they ever. I didn't feel like they told me that.
Okay. But nothing outside of that.
No,
like
I got the
save-
state gives me something.
Okay. Down at like pension type. Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing. Okay.
Man, if it's $20,000 a year, I'd be surprised.
All right. So now the way you want to structure this, you want your daughter in first position. Like if you
Yeah.
passed away, she.
No, my daughter.
Okay. And then you want your son in second position.
Sure.
Okay. What's your daughter's name?
Savannah.
Can you spell that?
SAVANNAH.
Got it. Last name? Mike?
Same last name, yeah.
I got a 3-year-old daughter.
Good luck.
She's a beast.
Good luck.
She is a beast. She terrorizes her brother all the time.
Really?
Mhm.
She's the oldest?
She's younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What is that going to feel like when you have to give her away? I've seen it done.
I don't know how to do it, and I feel like I had to give her away when she decided to date somebody. So I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I guess thankfully or not, but I know I will be eventually.
I know. I don't know why I think about that stuff, man. It's crazy.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, right.
That'd be my advice.
No
Don't
doubt.
think about it now.
Got it.
And plenty of time your stomach twist. That's probably why I had a damn heart attack. From her, the boy. I wouldn't say that to her.
She'd be 100%. Your son would be in second place, correct?
Mhm.
His name?
Yeah, Trevor. Same last name. It's a lot of questions. I know, I'm not mad at you. It's like at my job, that's a lot of questions. Just different questions.
All right, Shawn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some medical questions, see exactly what you're eligible for.
Mhm.
I'm going to present you with some basic price options. You'll pick the one that makes the most sense financially. Okay? My job's simple. I just got to take the application. We'll submit it to the insurance company with a voided check, see if it gets approved. If it does get approved, they're going to send a binder out to the house. Very similar like an auto or homeowner insurance. You know exactly what it is.
Okay.
If it gets declined, I have to come back out and write you something else. Okay? Again, as I reiterated earlier, 15 different companies I work with. My job is to try to find the best value for you and your family. Okay? Make sure your kids have something if God forbid you pass away.
Right.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me just kind of get a handle on this. Give me a little bit.
So as we slide through looking at where we were and what Marc was doing, I think the other important thing to think about is as Marc was asking those medical questions, you watch the way he just kind of moves through it. You never want to be too high or too low in an appointment, right? You always want to be prepared for whatever anybody ever has to say to you. And I think Marc just did such a good job asking so many questions. Whoever asks the most questions wins. I mean, it's kind of that concept. He asked so many questions. It was just, what am I going to ask? I mean, you just had this, and then what about this? And then you have this, then you would need this. And it's like, okay, got it. So we just I fell into place. There was structure. So now you're going to be able to watch Frank Eufemia. And what's great, and we were talking about this as the videos were being done, is how, I alluded to it in the intro video, how different they all are. Frank Eufemia does a lot of setting up the, what do you actually have now? What is there going to be in place? What if this happened? What do you have through your company? At one point he says to Mike, who's playing the husband in there, do you have these benefits through your company? And he says, no, I don't. And he says, oh, okay, that's fine. Not like, oh my God, why don't you? Or what's wrong with that company? Don't worry about it. What we have here will take care of that as well. And he's always, in his initial contact, he's always closing. When I at that phase yet, but he's always just, no, we'll take care of that. He asks a lot of questions. He is, Mike, he's very non-threatening, so he just kind of, why are you not going to answer him? He came across as honestly just a good guy to talk to. He didn't come across as, I don't know what your typical salesperson would be, but Frankie didn't come across that way. Came across the guy that cares about you, the initial contact, got a couple kids, made a few jokes. Yep, you don't have any yet. Okay, got it. Didn't go too far and certainly wasn't remotely judgmental in anything that they said. Just kept it moving. He learned a lot about this couple in a short period of time and kind of, anything that he could use. And when I say against them, to help them. All things. So when they say, I can't, down the road, hey, I don't want to do this. Remember we talked about this. Or you have this here. And it's not only you have the 25K, good, you have that in your 401K, but what else are you going to have in place when something happens? So really, again, it's such an eclectic group, which is awesome. But I want you to watch. What you're trying to do when you watch all these is figure out as we go through them all, whose initial contact most resembles me. Mine. Where am I going to fit? And maybe it's some of each. I need to do better at doing this over here, this and over here. And I like this from him or her and this. So, as you get to watch Frank's, watch the very simple, low-key approach and the amount of questions that are asked and the stage that's set up in this initial contact.
How long y'all been in the house?
About 2 months.
You just bought it?
Yeah, just bought it.
Congratulations. Okay. And where were we at before?
About probably 5 miles from here, same town.
Renting? Or?
Yeah, we're renting.
So this your first home?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
It is.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Okay. So here's the form that y'all sent in. Okay. It's very simple. I mean, it's very self-explanatory. When people fill these out, they're looking to do a couple things. Usually it's to make sure that if something happens to them, that their spouse and or their children are taken care of, that they have a roof over their head. My job is very simple, guys. I've got to do 3 things today. One is I got to figure out which program. We've got about 16 different companies, hundreds of different programs. Which program will best fit what you guys are trying to accomplish? Most important thing for me is that the companies will actually approve you. Okay, so we'll send some paperwork into the insurance company. They'll underwrite it and say yes or no. And the most important thing for y'all will be the budget. We're going to find something that fits in your budget today. And not just today, but if something happens, like, wind up with a bad hot water heater or a couple flat tires, it's not going to affect this payment. This is going to be something that's important that you're going to want to stick around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm going to ask y'all a couple questions and, take about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, okay? It's just to kind of help me figure out where we're going to navigate to put you in the best program. Make sense? Mike, what do you do?
I'm actually a painter.
Painter.
Yeah.
Okay. You work for yourself or work for someone else?
No, I work for someone else.
Okay. Commercial, residential?
A little bit of both, yeah. Right now, mostly residential.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Mike, how old are you?
I'm 35.
35. Okay. And Jasmine?
I'm the receptionist.
Okay.
I'm 35 as well.
It's Jaz?
Yep.
Okay. And you said 35 as well.
Yes.
How long y'all been married?
5 years.
Okay. Any kids?
No.
No kids. Do y'all want kids?
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
I hear they're expensive, so.
That they are. I've got 3,
Yeah.
and they don't get any cheaper the older they get. And you have a girl, it's all over. So, do you have, as far as what you have with your company benefits goes, do you have any benefits through your job as far as life insurance, health insurance, disability, anything like that?
I got nothing.
Nothing at all.
Just a 401k. I don't
Just
know if that's
okay.
the same thing.
It's a benefit for sure. How about outside of work? Do you have any life insurance outside of your job?
No.
Okay. Has that been something that you guys have thought about maybe getting? Or just didn't really know about?
Not really until
Yeah, we
saw
never really
this.
thought about it. Yeah. I think we're young,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Maybe when I get
35.
older,
Yeah, that's what's funny. I've been doing this for a long time, and the older people get, the more they think life insurance is important.
Right.
But every day, at least one mom and dad or one husband and wife don't make it home from work. So it doesn't matter really whether you're 30 or whether you're 104. It can be any time, any day. So, all right. So no life insurance. You have a 401k. How about you?
No, nothing.
Okay. So if something happened, Jasmine, to you, roughly what would Mike get out of your 401k that could help him maybe, cover some bills, things like that? Do you know how much your balance is on your 401k?
I think it's about 25,000.
Okay. Who do you work for?
Northeast Dental Group.
Okay, how long you been there?
6 years.
Okay. And Mike, the name of your company?
It's ABC Painting.
How long you been there?
About 10 years.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
You like what you do?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Do they offer any of these benefits? I mean, that's a long time to be somewhere. Do you just
No, I mean, it's
never
a
look
small
into them?
local company. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. This stuff will cover, a lot of what you guys should have in place, or some companies offer, this can take care of. So that'll be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then you're putting money into your 401k every week. Do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly?
Mm-hmm.
Weekly.
Every week.
Okay. Do you know how much percentage-wise you're putting in?
I want to say 3%.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I just pay
That's a
into
standard,
it.
right? Do they match? They do.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you know if they match up to 3% or
They do.
not?
Yep.
Good. All right. And then, Mike, what's your annual income roughly?
About 45.
45. Okay. Jasmine?
About 40.
So it's pretty close. And the mortgage is, say, $175,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what your interest rate is?
It's like around 4 and
Yeah,
a half,
I
I
think
think.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your payment?
It's right around $1,100 a month.
Is that everything? Taxes, insurance?
Yeah.
Principal and interest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do 4.25, and it's a 30-year loan, right?
Yes.
Health-wise, you guys are on the younger side, so hopefully you don't have any health challenges. But anything health-wise that I need to know about?
No.
Cancer, stroke, heart attack?
No, nothing. Pretty healthy.
How about prescription medication? Any type of pain medication or anything like that?
No.
Okay, perfect. Are y'all saving any money on a monthly basis?
A little bit, yeah. Like a couple $100 a month. Not a whole lot.
Okay. What was your rent before you bought the house?
I was about $1,600.
So you saved about $500 right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's expensive when you buy a house, though.
Oh yeah.
Decorations, put stuff in.
Yeah.
I like to say my wife's got a shopping problem. She does everything for the house. We get a package from Amazon like once a day. All right, so we're going to look at a couple different options. I'm going to show you the most popular plan for people that are in your age bracket, okay? Essentially what it's going to do is it's going to cover the both of you. Something, God forbid, happens to either one of you, the house will be paid free and clear, okay? You sit behind a desk, so as far as you getting hurt at work, it's probably slim. If you got hurt at work, you would have workman's comp. But if you got hurt outside of work, it'd be tough for you to work.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could go to work with a broken leg, you know, might not be comfortable, but you could go to work. So we might want to look at putting some disability on for you as well, just to make sure that if something does happen, you can at least make that mortgage payment and you guys don't lose the house that you just literally got. You know, you guys are 35, got your new house, and want to make sure that's does not go back to the bank.
Yeah, we got a bunch of these forms ever since we moved in.
I'm sure, and you'll continue to get them.
Yeah.
The problem is there's a lot of folks out there trying to do this. I'm sure you guys got letters from alarm companies, roofing companies, windows companies, and that's just going to be because when you do a loan, your information is recorded at the courthouse, and people go pull that information and they sell it, and that's essentially why you're getting letters from all those folks. We get the information, send you the letter, just like other companies, but you know we deal with 16 different insurance companies, so hundreds of different products. I'll be able to shop it out between all of them to see which one's going to give you the best rate. So you guys don't really much have to worry about filling out any more forms unless you guys like to just waste time. You know?
No.
No, I'm not big on that.
Me neither. But it's confusing. I do know that. All right, so y'all don't have any life insurance in place. So people get life insurance for a couple different reasons. One is income replacement. Other is mortgage protection. The third is a few different reasons to, funeral expenses and leave a legacy, okay? So because you have just done your loan and you're eligible for these plans, we can actually give you a little bit more so you can get life insurance and kind of build it into your mortgage protection. So if something happens, we can pay the house off. But if, Mike, something happens to you, Jasmine, you'll get some extra money to put in the bank as a cushion while you get used to living without that $45,000 in income. It's a lot of money. So it'll, like I said, you'll be able to wrap a bunch of stuff up into one thing and make sure that if something happens, then you will not struggle at all, which is, at the end of the day, I would imagine that's your biggest concern as a husband.
So that's your initial contact. You have to ask yourself when you get to somebody's house, how are you setting the stage? How are you, quote unquote, building rapport? I'm big on initial contact as opposed to, I think building rapport can be a dangerous thing if you don't know how to do it the right way. I'm not out there trying to be everybody's best friend. I think that's hard, and I think people say no to their friends. If you could sell life insurance to friends and family the rest of your life, you would just do that, wouldn't need leads. Friends and family have familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt, and there you go. This is your initial contact. What are you getting? What are you divulging about yourself to them? Why are you doing what you do? What experiences do you have? Why should they be trusting you? And then you're now you're trying to learn everything you can about them. What is going to happen if this happens? How is your job? What do you have over benefits? Do you have work insurance? I love what Bryan said about it. Like, well, now you know. Bill's like, well, I didn't think about that as it pertained to my work insurance. Well, now you know, because that is the way that it works. It's really just, if you don't set the stage, there's no play. Like, there's no game. You've got to set the stage, man. When you get there, it's a good handshake, it's eye contact, but you're immediately into, how am I going to set some structure? And you are setting structure by getting to know some things. You are setting structure by talking about you. And then again, everybody's going to do it their way. And I think you take let's take these, for example, Bryan, Marc, and Frank, and go, okay, what is it about each one that I could do? By the way, they all can have sold, $400,000 plus in a year of paid business. So they know how to do it. What they're doing is working. Nobody can dispute that. So now it's you be you, but find out some of the things that they're doing that maybe you're not. But I promise you have to. When you're walking up to that house, I'd pull up my car, And it was game time. I'm sorry, I didn't play football like roll in one day, put my uniform on, and let's go play. I was getting excited, man. I wanted to know why I wanted to get on the field, who I wanted to hit, why I wanted to hit them, and why I disliked them so much. I had to set the stage for all the things I was going to do. I don't care what it was in life. If it was giving a training, if it was talking in front of, whatever it happens to be, you need to get prepped. And this is the same thing. I'll pull up the house, it's game time. And unfortunately, in our game, if you don't bring your A game, people get hurt. So as I'm walking up to the house, I'm talking to myself. Remember to smile, shake hands, say this about this, say this about that. Maybe it's something about the neighborhood or the house or the car that I can already relate to and I can say it. Maybe it's about them being in the military and thankful for their service because I genuinely thank people for their service when they serve. What can I do to help? Gathering information. I'm watching everything as I walk up to the house and once I walk in the house. I'm observant, and then I'm a question asker, and I'm a control taker, and that's who you are. That's initial contact, and you have to have good initial contact to be very successful in this business. So I hope these segments help.